What's up? What's up? What's up, my people? My people, my people. Man, I want to welcome y'all to another edition of Think About It.
Black
Black people.
people.
There we go. There we go. We're going to get that, y'all. I'm telling you, by our fifth episode, we're going to have that pat. I want to welcome y'all to another episode of Think About It, Black people. I'm Lamar Anderson, and I've assembled some of my amazing friends here to talk about topics that directly affect Black people in our community. So before we, kind of get into the topic that we want to talk about today, because man, my people looking beautiful. We're going to talk about that as well. I'm going to go ahead and introduce my team to you. So first up, let's introduce E. Let them know who you are.
Hi, my name's Erica Baird, and I'm just excited to be on here. It's Juneteenth this month, so we got some exciting things to talk about.
Yes, we do. All right, go ahead, Shell.
You got Michelle back in the house. Glad to be here. Love my peeps. Love all my peeps all across Peoria and abroad. We're here to give you some good information.
All right, my boy Rut. Go ahead, Rut.
What's happening, y'all? It's your boy, Ruddy Rut. You know how I get I'm ready to go.
I know, I'm ready too, Rut. And like I said, before we even get started, my people looking good. Y'all looking real good. Just want to put that out there. The topic we wanted to talk about today, it actually got sparked because the president, 45, he was going to kick off his new campaign in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And he was going to kick it off on June the 19th. But those who don't know what June the 19th is, well, we got to educate y'all a little bit. A lot of people, they go out and they celebrate the 4th of July. And I know Father's Day coming up as well. And I'm a dad. I'm not going to overlook any Father's Day gift. I'm going to accept all gifts or any attention I get. But I think a very, very important holiday that we overlook sometimes is Juneteenth. And for those who don't know, Juneteenth is a holiday that happened actually, and let me explain a little bit about it. So how Juneteenth became when Lincoln freed the slaves or signed the Emancipation Proclamation. I don't want to say freed the slaves, signed the Emancipation Proclamation. It took 2.5 years later for a group of slaves in Galveston, Texas to find out that they were freed. And that's a very, very, very important part that a lot of people kind of overlook, because if you think about it, for 2.5 years, Galveston, Texas, and other parts in the southern states were receiving more free labor from slaves after we had been freed. So that's very, very important. Very important. So I want you guys to understand that. And the other reason why this particular topic came up and we thought it was so important is because our president, 45, chose June the 19th to go kick off his new election in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, here's your second part of your history lesson. The second part of your history lesson is many people don't realize that there are a lot of millionaires, Black millionaires, way before now. And we're going to talk a little bit later about financial freedoms and things like that. But let's give you a little bit of background. So one of the first towns that had tons of Black millionaires, over 150 Black-owned businesses, so let's clear that up, was in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Over 160 millionaires.
Over 160 millionaires in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, another way to put this in perspective for you, Tulsa, Oklahoma, it only had 2 airports. And there were like 6 different families who had their own private planes. So let's put that in perspective as well. So this was a self-contained community town in Oklahoma, Greensboro.
And Lamar, I think putting in perspective that they were millionaires in that time frame, it's become a millionaire now. So
that is true.
When you put that magnitude of the fact that they were millionaires in that time frame, they would be like multi-millionaires today.
That's a fact. So One of the things that, people don't realize in regards to them being millionaires even at that time, and when I say it was a self-contained town, they had probably every type of business that you can think of. They had their own police department. They had their own fire department. They had doctors. They had lawyers.
They had their own banks.
Their own banks. They had
Black
everything. They had everything that they needed within their own community. So the reason we kind of brought this up is because one of the main things a lot of people don't believe is that the Black dollar can circulate within Black communities for a long time. The Black dollar does not necessarily have to leave Black communities and flourish in other communities. So what we wanted to talk about today was a little bit of financial freedom and how you all can kind of obtain some financial freedom. Go ahead, Eric.
Well, and I was just going to point out before we even get on to that topic is a lot of times when African Americans are starting their own businesses, they have to charge more because the Asians will pool their money together. So if you see multiple hair supply stores in a city, all of them pooled their money together and they work together to start these businesses. Whereas a lot of times when African Americans have to start those businesses, they're starting them on their own. So you may have to pay 50 cents more or $1 more for that hair gel, but it's supporting a Black business.
Exactly.
We say, I'm not gonna pay that because you overcharging me. No, he's being overcharged or she's being overcharged.
Exactly.
Until we start understanding that and helping them build where they can buy in mass, then their prices will come down. So it's important to go in with a realistic expectation that it may cost me a little bit more, but it's uplifting my community.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of people failed to understand with Black Wall Street, and which is one of the most famous Black towns that happened, is that to have all of these different businesses in one area and everyone supporting each other to make sure that everyone thrives is not a new concept. That's something that we can continue to do right now. Go ahead,
Hey,
Russ.
don't y'all guys remember when we was little? Smith Street, we had the E&R store right there, Black Dome.
Yeah.
We had one over there by McKinley, the candy store right over there. And then we had the snow cone man, my Uncle Goldie with the snow cones. And then you had the, what's the other store? Can't remember. It's right over there off of, well, anyway, we had those. Yeah, on Summer Street, coming down, no, Spring Street over there. There was another store over there.
Yeah.
And we had all these stores, but and what they were, when we used to go down there and buy bread, it would be like $2 for a loaf of bread. But then we had Butternut Bakery right around the corner, and we go to Butternut Bakery and get the bread for like 99 cents or something like that. And then we always used to ask, why do you charge so much for this bread when we can get it from Butternut Bakery? Because you have to understand we're a Black-owned business, and what we're getting charged for our wholesale price is different from what they're getting charged for their wholesale price. So we would have to charge extra in order to keep this store here in our community to serve you guys, but you guys keep running to the other store because it's a cheaper price. So it was like that.
Causes the prices to stay high.
Exactly.
As they increase their volume, their prices go down. And so I think that it's good that we're talking about this, because I think that a lot of people don't realize that even Black loans, when they get loans, their interest rates are higher because they're higher risk. And so we have to be mindful of the fact that we have to help each other get on our feet, and the importance of that. And when you think about Oklahoma, that was just the epitome of seeing us work together, build each other up, and then provide jobs for others in the community. Yes. So it was all about us getting out of slavery and then coming together to build together. And 100 years later, 200 years later, 300 years later, we still aren't really understanding that concept. So I think I'm glad that we're talking about this today.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Like to jump in. So what comes to mind is you always heard in the church, especially in the Black church, about having an old poverty state of mind. Going back, as you said, Erica, to slavery, I think that's where that all began. And we did so much work on this land without getting paid for it, down to when new laws were passed, still didn't know, and then you're still working for free. So we have to come out of that poverty state of mind and that mistrust with one another. We haven't given ourselves a chance to come together because, again, we tend to look superficially, like you said, instead of digging in deep on why it costs more over here versus at the Asian hair salon. But again, as I always say, one of my favorite sentences is, the time is now. And that's why we are on this platform now, so that we can spread this genuine love to our people, so that we can come together and bring about the changes that, like you said, Lamar, that already have been there. This isn't the first time that we've had Black-owned businesses. And
one thing I think we must do, especially within our local community that we have, we need to identify who those Black businesses are, so we can support those Black businesses. I would love a directory that has a list of Black businesses that that exist, so I can show my support financially to those businesses. I just think
the Black churches, we need to
exactly.
do that. Businesses, we need to know where we can go and support the businesses. We need to know where the restaurants are. All of these restaurants have gone through pandemics. We need to make sure, and a lot of times as they were going through the pandemics, a lot of the Black restaurants didn't get any funding. So we need to make sure that we're supporting those restaurants so they can stay open, so that we can, our people in Peoria this year, I guess in 2019, we're up from second worst in the country for African Americans for places to live to number 7. So we're only 7 from the bottom of 34
only
cities.
7. We shouldn't be on the list.
Starting from the bottom now,
please do not get me started on that topic. We shouldn't even be on the list. I'm just saying, do not get me started on that topic. But no, I definitely agree with everything that you're saying, Erica, in regards to, those businesses, creating an actual directory. And I don't know if this is the platform where we say this and hopefully someone takes the lead, or if they're expecting us to take the lead, by all means, because our goal is to make sure the Black dollar continues to circulate within the Black community for a long period of time.
One of the ways we can do that is, if you own a Black business that we may not know about, list it on our Facebook page, list it on our YouTube site, so that when people go out there, they can find out about those businesses and they can come support. We have
and we also open it up to you all for interviews. We would love to interview you all about your business that you have, so people can be aware of what you do. So and let's talk a little bit about the two entrepreneurs. And like I said, Erica, you probably got 15 streams of income as well. We'll get into that in just a second. But let's talk about Rut and Michelle in regards to the different things that you all are doing as starting to become young entrepreneurs. You're still young entrepreneurs to be. So let's talk about it a little bit, Rut. So what do you do?
What I do is run a small management company, A&R company, RMG, which stands for Rut Time Music Group. And it's everything that I do is pretty much is under one umbrella, record label, management, publishing, A&R work, artist development, everything, engineer, studio, all of those fields. And then I'm also in the line of starting, now that I got my certifications, looking at trying to start teaching and being able to open up like a small little school or something to help give kids an opportunity to learn more about the music field and things like I have learned. And also, I can also recommend them to the school I went to, and hopefully they can get more education that way too.
And Rut is mentoring my son. My son wants to be a entrepreneur in high school. He wants to be DJ at the little high school parties like Ruddy Rut was in high school. He wants to produce for the high school rappers. And so he's learning how to do that. And those are important things. When you get to college, you can pay for college just being a DJ.
Oh yeah. That got me through school.
Right.
That what got me through school. Yeah, selling beats.
This guy, I was on the radio in college, and I DJ'd the parties. I mean, this is this guy. I get it. So, Rut, so why do you feel that was important for you to be an entrepreneur, to start your own?
Well, it's always been ownership, independence. Because back when I started in the business, it's not what it is today. It's a lot easier than what we had to go through as far as getting our music to labels and going to talk to labels. Now you got social media, isn't pretty much a DM message over and just hope that they read it, and you have more of a chance of that being read, or you can also see if they've seen it in order them mailing them something and they're not able to, or you're not hoping they're opening in the letter or whatever you sent them. So with this one, what I want to try to do is create something for everybody to be able, what got me into it was to be independent. It started off family owned because that's why I call it Ruttown, because of Rutherford. So it's pretty much was based, me and my little brother was me and Tyson, everybody know Tyson. You know, we started the thing, and then I got into DJing, but he was more he was my talker, you know what I mean, my salesman. So, you know, but after I moved away and everything, and then I got more into it, and then I said, let me learn more, and I enrolled into a Conservatory of Arts and Medicine and a institute down in Arizona, and then I learned more about it. Then I'm like, okay, now I can see what the mistakes I made prior and learn from that, and then implement the new things that I've learned, because they teach business classes, publishing, everything, copyrights and everything. I mean, which I knew, but it was most of the inside things I didn't know, of the tricks in the trade of keeping your money coming in. Pretty much what I quote, make money while you sleep.
Gotcha.
You know, that type of thing. So, and I learned how to do that. So now I'm taking that and starting to but then I had a hiccup with health. So I had to put all that on hold for a couple, a grip. And now I'm starting to rebrand and get things right back on track and starting to create new relationships and getting back in contact with old relationships I had in the industry.
Let
Glad
me
to hear that,
plug.
man. Go ahead,
Let
Erica.
me give the plug. There is 2 Black-owned accounting companies in the city. One focuses on non-for-profit, and it's the Giles Lawson, and they do accounting. They show you how to set up your business. And there's Gia Jones. Her phone number is 309-688-3536. So if you are looking to start your own business, they'll help you with doing all the paperwork, because that's the scary part. If you've never owned a business, how do I go about it? When my cousins and my honey opened the barber shop, I didn't know how to do that. And here I am working at Caterpillar as a manager, but I didn't have to start businesses. I know how to manage a business once it's started, but just how do you do the whole startup? They do everything for you, and they're very reasonable. They'll do your taxes for you, all of that. And that's important to have someone who can help you, and they're African Americans, so we're helping them grow their business also.
That's appreciated.
Right, but I can say one thing about it though. I did not have no tax problems. Like, whoo, thank you.
no. But
everything was good as far as with doing the business thing. But I mean, it's good to know that financial literacy is a lot in our community, and if what you don't know, it really can damper your future in the business too. So that's why I went on ahead and enrolled, so I wouldn't really get myself deeper in some type of a position to where I didn't have that information, and then apply it to what I would put my formula to it and then put it out there.
And not just in business, it will kill us in our personal lives. We want to all.
Oh yeah.
You see people at Walmart still working till they're 80. I know a lady who sits at the gym, and she's the biggest sweetheart. She's in her 70s. She shouldn't have to be working. So we want to definitely talk about that too.
One thing I wanted to do, though, I wanted to make sure I compliment Rut on the fact that you invested in yourself, man. That's, a lot of people are scared to take upon it themselves and invest in themselves. So you knew you needed more education, more things to take you to that next level. So investing in yourself and understanding that's an investment. So, what I also want to do, I definitely want to, shoot to my girl, Michelle, and let's talk about some of the things that you got going on. I'm sorry, Erica.
I just want to say, and the fact that he's willing to mentor. He's not saying, I got it, I went to school, I'm not going to help you because I want to keep it all to myself. He's mentoring. He's giving back to the people behind him. He is standing up as a man on the track field, and he's passing the baton to the next generation.
I love that. That's my W.B. Du Bois. I live by W.B. Du Bois, that talented 10 theory. I think that's what I hope. Hopefully people will understand. That's what we're trying to do here, is that any information that we've gotten, no matter what it is, if I've had to pay for whatever, guess what? I'm giving the game for free. I'm going to hand it over to you all. And that's what the Talented 10th is about. It's those who get those opportunities, who go back to their communities and provide those opportunities for others.
That old picture, he ain't too heavy.
That's,
Yeah.
pull them up, baby. All right, Shell, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, we all know that my passion keyword is health and wellness. Again, I have longevity in the field of healthcare. And when I went into healthcare, it was to help people. Given God has allowed these hands to touch many different people, but not in the way that I am fulfilling my God-given talent and gift, and that healthy meals, incorporating balance in your life, mind, body, soul, and spirit. So for me, I don't quite see a dollar sign in this, but I do see the need for our people, which can create multiple, we'll say millions. It can, or maybe not, but it's the possibility is there because I have a lot of ideas. You know what I'm saying?
Just in case you're trying to figure it out, I'm finna speak it from my mouth to God's ear. You're going to get paid off of this. Just want to put that out there.
Your food is delicious, it's healthy, and when you talk about money, when you eat healthy, you don't have those medical bills later. And so it may cost a little bit now, but it's going to save you a whole lot later. And now we have jobs. When we're retired, we make less. So that's the reality of why plan now for when you're making less so you can keep more in your pocket.
I'll just say this, they can go buy all that mess with them preservatives and all of that stuff. Y'all better get some of this food for the soul.
You gotta limit it. And it's not even just the food, it's the renewing of the minds of the people. Again, as I've said before in a past video, we are diagnosed with all these different diseases and we don't know what to do. You know, you got diabetes, as Black folks say, you diabetical, but you don't know what to do with it. It's mind, body, soul, and spirit. You have to incorporate what you need to incorporate in your being so that it can work better for you. And you can do this before getting these diagnoses. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the business that I am, it's about you starting where you are and improving your health.
And you can pay for it now. I mean, you can pay for it now from her, or you can pay for it later. You're going to pay for it later.
And you know what else, Michelle? That still goes back to a slave mentality. Because when we were slaves, give us the intestine of the hog. They would give us what they didn't want to eat. And so we learned over time how to make it taste good, but it was unhealthy also. And so we can still make food taste good, but we can also make it healthy, like you do with putting turkey into your greens instead of ham hocks and those types of things. So I think
don't be telling all my secrets, E. No, I'm just playing.
Hey,
but listen, and again,
y'all be nice if I be able to give me a taste of that good old food.
You will, bro. You will.
Would you please get him a plate?
474 miles away.
Exactly.
Because I ain't sharing. Would you please get him a plate?
And my goal,
here's what we're gonna do, right? Next time she makes plates and she brings one to me, I'll bring Aaron over for his little check-in, and you can eat while he's DJing.
Exactly.
There it is. There it is.
I love it. My ultimate goal is this. I tell them at work. God allowed me the knowledge, you know, these years of knowledge and education in healthcare to share with others. And at the end of the day, my goal is to get paid to be healthy, work out, stay in gym clothes all day, and mentor people, teach people how to meal prep and all those good things. Definitely.
So, Erica, if you can, let's give them some practical things that they can do to kind of, you know, help with their finances.
Well, really what I just want to talk about is the fact that we talked about there were 160 Black millionaires back in that time. But when people think of millionaires, they think of LeBron James, they think of all these movie stars, they think of Beyonce, they think of Jay-Z. That's the 0.1%. So 0.1% have over 43 million. when you start getting into the 1%, let me look at it. When you get to the 1%, they have, no, actually the 0.1% is over 10 million. When you start getting into the top 10%, there are 10% of the most wealthy in the US are only worth $1.1 million. And when you really start thinking about what it means to be a millionaire, it's really understanding the concept of net worth. It's really understanding the concept of net worth. So what do you own minus what do you owe? So it's just a basic math equation. Do I have a 401k? Do I have an IRA? Do I own my house? Do I own my car outright? Minus, do I have furniture that I'm paying for? Do I have student loans? And when you do the sum of what you own minus what you owe, it determines your net worth. What most people think is that you have to go to the NBA, you have to become a movie star to be a millionaire, but that actually is factually not true. There are more millionaires who are just everyday, they call them the everyday millionaire, and there's 18.4 million of them in the US as of 2018. And how they earned it was just saving into their retirement, paying themselves first. We always hear pay God first. Well, yes, pay God first and pay you second, and then stay within your means. So a lot of times you think that the race goes, we all heard the tortoise and the hare. Yeah, there's a lot of people who become stars, but that's minute number of people who become Bill Gates and those people. It's the regular person who started saving into their retirement, getting their company match, skipping, going out to eat 5 days a week. Okay, I could go to this shop and get my hair done, but and they charge me $400. This shop charges me $50. So making those different decisions so that I have money that I can invest so that I can retire. So I think that that's very important. And globally, there's, I think, let me look, 47 millionaires internationally. So if you think about it, 18.7 of those millionaires are in the US. And even if we feel it can't be me right now because I'm older, I can't start saving, but that you can always start right now. And what I think is important. And even more important is we talked about passing the baton. What I didn't know, my children know. My 16-year-old kids have IRAs. So I am a millionaire based on retirement. I can't touch it, but when I retire, it's going to be sitting there. My children are going to be multimillionaires. My protege from ICC is going to be a multimillionaire because they started years before me because I didn't know. It took a Black mentor at Caterpillar teaching me that. When you know better, you do better. Michelle, you were going to say something?
Yes, I could just share with you all real quick, like Mael Organic, you know, this is a Black woman from Chicago. I really promote her hair products. I've been using them. I was new to social media, and I got on Instagram in 2015. December 2015 is when I ordered her products for the first time. Never had been on social media before. That's December 2015. I'm gonna order this stuff for Christmas. By February 2016, she was in Sally's, okay? Sally Beauty Supply. And next thing I know, she's in Target. This woman was a registered nurse in labor and delivery for 8 years. And as much as she loved helping people, she was not living out her passion. She's been, remember 2015, it's 2020. She's a multi-millionaire. Her husband had to quit his job at corporate UPS. And they've been doing this now for the last 5 years. And she's already created 5 different fragrances. You know what I'm saying? And then, and she's giving back. And the other day on IG, she posted that she is going to help rebuild Black Wall Street, okay? And she says it humbly because she gives all honor and credit to the Most High God. So with that being said, we must follow our visions and our passions. We do what's taught to us. We go and get education because that's what it is said that you should do to arrive. Well, I'm still trying to get there, and I don't miss a day of work. After 30 years, you don't miss work. You go to work, you make your money, and But it's said that 80% of people still live paycheck to paycheck. So with that being said, we need to go with our passions and stuff as well to get, because she's a multimillionaire now.
Can we give her contact information? Let's go ahead and give her contact information, Shell, and then we'll wrap this up. She's under Mael Organics on IG, Mael Organics, natural hair products. She's another Madam CJ Walker, most deaf, and then some, you know. Mael Organics, and I forgot what her personal name is, but definitely Mael Organics on IG and on Facebook. And so you can place orders online, or she's in all the stores, the major stores. Go ahead, Erica.
If any tip to just take away, everyone thinks that you have to start with $1,000. $1,000 comes $10 at a time. So if all you have right now is $20 a week that you can put away, that $20 a week adds up to over $1,000 in a year. So just thinking through how you can start now. Okay, I eat 2 less times at McDonald's, and now I can start an IRA. So this is just a little tip to take away, but don't make an excuse that I don't have it. We all have it. We just have to figure out what we're willing to sacrifice.
They started in their garage. They started
amazing takeaway
in their garage in buckets.
Also, it's that simple. I started late. Even if you got direct deposit, you can say, well, let me take 50 and put it in here, and then the rest be, for bills and whatever.
Yeah.
$50 every paycheck, that's $100 a month. 12 months out of the year, that's $1,200. Think about it.
Yeah.
That's, if you really start, especially, and then as more money you put into an IRA, the higher the money, the more interest it gains. So, once I figured all that out and then everything, I was like, okay, let's go.
Man, see, that time is already gone. It's flying. It does when we get on here and start to have these conversations. But man, those are some great takeaways, like for real. So like, if you're a young person, older person, whatever, definitely listen to the takeaways that was given by all of these experts today. Because I'm going to be utilizing a lot of the things that, we talked about today as well. Also want to make sure you all do something this weekend in regards to celebrating Juneteenth. Understand that it is our Independence Day as well. Like, we were freed then. So, that's a great opportunity. June 19th, celebrate that, all right? With the barbecue, hang out with some family members.
Hey,
my shirt says,
is there any celebrations going on for that?
There's some celebrations going on in the local area. I believe there's some things happening at Carver Community Center, some other places like that as well. But I'm a big fan of, the least you should be doing is hanging out with your family, doing some stuff with your family, educating them who don't know about Juneteenth, the importance of this.
And have everyone in your family look up one Black history fact and come and give one Black history fact. It's all about passing on that legacy, knowing where we came from so we can know where we're going. So it's cutting off in a second. So
I know. So, hey, always again, we'll be doing this. And again, definitely want y'all to tune in, check out our previous episodes. Definitely want to thank my friends, Voltron, that we formed here. We'll be back again. This was Think About It.
Black people.
Black people.
Black
All right,
people.
love y'all.
Love you too.
Hey.
Choo-choo.